And welcome back. You know, every parent hopes their child gets straight A's on their report card. Usually it's in subjects like math, science, English. But what about manners, regular bathing, or how about letters written? That's the basis for Barbara and Bob Unell's book called Uncle Dan's Report Card, and they both join us right now to tell us more about it. And we're talking about, it's called Uncle Dan's Report Card because it's actually your Uncle Dan's report card from 1914.
Exactly. Who knew, right? It's exactly what I did was find his 1914 report card on his dresser, but the kicker is I found it in 2002, like almost 100 years later. And I looked at this report card, which is in the book, by the way, and I said, oh my gosh, this is my uncle. These are the behaviors that made him great. These are, in fact, the behaviors that raised the greatest generation. So I got really excited, and we went forward and kind of went crazy with this, didn't we? What did we do, Bob?
What's really unique about the report card is on the left side was a school report, on the right side was a home report. And Barb started showing everyone this home report of these 19 behaviors that were taught at home. And everyone said, why don't we bring this back? So we actually did a pilot program where we brought it back.
And we did it with Governor Sebelius when she was the governor of Kansas. And what happened, and I think everyone will be thrilled to know, is that when these behaviors are taught, along with the academic subjects, everything improved. We did it in rural, we did it in urban, we did it in suburban schools. And so this book is the results of that information to give people, does it really matter, to answer that question? Does it matter if I really teach these things? Because parenting, as we know, is hard. So we have to pick and choose, and these are things like, you said, you know, manners and helping father and helping mother and daily chores and reading books. These were actually on the report card because the superintendent said the worth of the child cannot be measured in terms of percent alone.
And I mean, you talk about these are life skills, you know, because some of the things are money earned, money saved, really learning life skills, clean teeth.
Right.
I mean, you don't think that those are things that need to be taught, but obviously if a child doesn't experience it at home, then they're not going to know.
Well, and in the book we talk about why it mattered then and why it matters today, and I think the research piece perhaps was one of the most fascinating parts about what we did.
I mean, is this something you think that children are not getting that much of an exposure to these days?
Not at home. You look at some of the movements in the past 20 years, like the character education movement. What is that? That's let's teach character in the classrooms because these children are coming to school and they have not learned these behaviors, these basic behaviors that were always assumed would be taught at home. And that, if you think about it, that's what raised the greatest generation.
And what's so fun is that we found that kids loved, when we did our pilot, learning these behaviors, practicing these behaviors. They want to do good things. And so this gives them that kind of code, if you will. You can put it on the refrigerator or copy it and take it to school. That helps them feel proud of these behaviors, and they did feel proud of them. So it really, how do I say, makes parenting easier? Because a better behaved child, as we know, is what everybody wants. But it also leads to academic success.
And I'll tell you what, I just got this book a little bit before our show started, and I just kind of flipped through it, and it's very easy to read. It's easily laid out. Each behavior that we're talking about is one chapter, and it has some, you know, how to teach this to your children. Now, you said this was a pilot program in Kansas this past year, so is it launching into a second year this year?
Well, actually, we did it several years ago when Governor Sebelius, or Kathleen Sebelius, was the governor, and now we've put the results in the book, but we've also are going to have a kitchen table conversation, as we call it, with the community, and we're very excited about that on September 21st.
Absolutely, and we want to talk more about that. We have a graphic, in fact, to show you so you know exactly when it is. Wednesday, September 21st at 7 p.m. It's at Unity Temple on the Plaza. That's 707 West 47th Street. There's a phone number for you as well. A great opportunity to come and talk with Bob and Barbara Unell about this book and really about the thought behind it, because obviously we're learning here that what you learn extends beyond just the classroom.
Right, and beyond Kansas City. We're having this kitchen table conversation with someone who's the head of the Superintendent's Association in Kansas City with 29 school districts, and Tom Block and Adele Hall and Jerry Wyckoff and all kinds of folks who can help us make sense of this as a community. We're very excited.
All right. Well, Bob and Barbara, thank you so much for joining us here in our studio. We look forward to this discussion next Wednesday, September 21st. Stay with us. We'll be right back.